Hi, it's Lucy, and today we're doing a 24-hour readathon. And I have a smudge on my glasses. I don't usually do these because I do like sleep. Sorry to disappoint, I will be sleeping in this vlog because I simply will not be able to function. How much? Yet to be seen. It is currently 6:26 p.m. and I'm declaring this readathon started at 6:30. I was hoping to start by 6, but you know, I can never be on time by anything. Anyway, I'm here to tell you the books I'm planning to read during this 24-hour period. My boyfriend will be joining me for the majority of it, waiting for him to get here, so might as well start. He will tell you about what he's doing when he gets here, whenever that is. I have separated into categories. We have physical books, audiobooks, ebooks. This way I can be reading at all times. We will start with the physical books. I have chosen hopefully a good amount. The first book we'll talk about, you might recognize from my TBR from last month, Don't Cry for Me by Daniel Black. I was supposed to read this last month. I didn't, so I would like to get this read. I have a separate video planned, not for this book specifically, but this book will be featured in a separate video that you should actually already be seeing by now. It should be either my last video or the video before that. I'm not sure. I'm not going to go through all the details of each of these books, just the first ones I'm planning in each of the categories. And then if I get to them, I'll tell you like more synopsis and everything, just because I don't want to tell you all these details and then I end up not even reading it in this vlog. So yes, Don't Cry for Me is told as a series of letters from a Black father who is dying and trying to make amends with his gay son. I assume his son's coming out did not go well, and so he's trying to make amends on his deathbed. It sounds really sad, not really the vibe for a 24-hour readathon, I think. They're supposed to be kind of happy-go-lucky, but I don't know. I just be reading, okay? The other books that I have, like I said, I'm just gonna flash, and then if I get to them, we'll talk about them more in detail. What You Are Looking For is In the Library by Michiko Ayama and translated by Allison Wong. It has a cat on the cover. Killers of a Certain Age. This seems like it will be a fun, happy time, or like, not happy, because I think it's about people, you know, it's about assassins, but got a fun like mystery thriller vibe, I think. The last physical book will be a bridge, I guess. This is a graphic novel. It's called Coming Back. The art style looks good, and it's always good to have a graphic novel for a 24-hour readathon. To transition, we will move on to ebooks, and I have one graphic novel ebook currently available to me. I might get more because it's pretty easy to get ebook graphic novels, and that book is Hover Girls by Geneva Bauer. Geneva Bauer is an artist who I really enjoy, Exhibit A, and I actually have her artwork all over my house. Exhibit B, Exhibit C, Exhibit D, Exhibit E. I really like her art style, so when I found out that she wrote a graphic novel, I was very intrigued, and I got this as an ARC from NetGalley. I didn't realize that this was originally like a webtoon, and now it's been expanded and obviously printed. It's being traditionally published by Bloomsbury YA. It is about two cousins who move to the city of Los Angeles together. One dreams of becoming a fashion model and fashion designer, while the other is just trying to hold herself together after a breakdown the year before. An incident leaves them with superpowers, and monsters began attacking the city, so they have to like help save the city. Sounds fun, sounds good. Like I said, I really like the author's art style, so that is the main reason I got it. The other ebooks I have on my list are The Field Guide to the American Teenager by Ben Philippe, Lost in the Moment and Found by Seanan McGuire. I know I just read a Seanan McGuire book and did not have a good time with it, but I have read the other books in the Wayward Children series. This is the 8th one, so hopefully that will get me back in a good mood about Seanan McGuire. And lastly, I have a couple of audiobooks to talk to you all about. The first one that I will be reading is 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. This is kind of a self-help book about like how to take time management back, I guess. Like 4,000 weeks is like the average weeks in the human lifespan, so it's like a time management self-help kind of book that is supposed to be different from all the other time management self-help kind of books. So yeah, and the audiobook is pretty short. I think it's only 6 hours. I also have The Honeymoon Crashers by Christina Lauren, Funny Story by Emily Henry, if I finish the other audiobooks. That's that on that. That's the intro to this. I'm going to start off listening to the audiobook 4,000 Weeks because I have some cleaning I want to get done before my boyfriend gets here and we eat dinner and stuff and really hunker down and start reading. So this way I can listen to the audiobook and clean, and yeah, join me for this ride.
Macmillan Audio presents 4,000 Weeks, Time Management for Mortals, written and read by Oliver Burkeman.
Dinner. More dinner. Guy.
Snack.
I actually didn't get much of the audiobook listened to because my timing continues to be bad, and he came with the food right after I finished filming the introduction. So we ate, you saw it, now we're here to read. He's gonna tell you what he's reading right now.
I am reading Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I've been reading this book for probably month and a half on and off. I am not very far in it. Just because I've sort of been jumping around between other books. I've had a bunch of audiobooks I've been listening to. I'm currently listening to Red Seas, Red Skies, which was one of the books I was supposed to read in the readathon, and I didn't finish it, but that's nobody's fault. Yeah, so far, I think I'm still very much in like the exposition, but I'm really liking what I read. Stieg Larsson, a pretty convincing writer, although there's a lot of Swedish names, a lot of like 80s and 90s Swedish like domestic politics that I'm not sure if these are references I'm supposed to get. But overall, I don't think we've gotten into the meat of it, but I'm looking forward to figuring out what's going on.
Also, we learned a mystery element that the author of these books finished all the manuscripts and turned them in and then died like a week later, or like the next year or something.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Now we're gonna read. Yeah, so we are 2.5 hours in-ish. I'm exactly 100 pages into Don't Cry For Me by Daniel Black so far. It is a little more harrowing than I thought it was going to be, even knowing that it was a hard subject matter. There's even more hard subject in here. Definitely trigger warnings for like assault, sexual assault. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that. And it is giving me like some things to think about. Like it's really about how just being raised in America as a Black man when he was like shaped how he, you know, treated his child and how he was treated as a child. And so I think that thought process is really interesting. Basically our main character, Jacob, who's dying, he's dying of cancer. He talks about like how his dad's dad was a slave, but he was raised by his grandfather. So his father figure's father was a slave until he was 18, and like just how that shaped his grandfather, how it shaped him. And there's also an author's note in the beginning of this that basically defines the story, I guess. The author shares that his own father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and it seems like this whole story is basically what he imagined his father would have written to him, potentially, because he realized that he wasn't going to get the closure that he wanted from his father. Yeah, so it's just giving me a lot to think about, and we'll see how it ends. Currently making cookies. I've also listened to a little bit more of 4,000 Weeks, Time Management for Mortals. I'm only 23 minutes in. That's 7% of the audiobook. Yeah, I just listened while I was making cookies, and the little bit of cleaning I got done before my boyfriend got here. But yeah, that's the update for now. Gonna finish these cookies, continue reading, and we'll see where the night takes us. I finished Don't Cry For Me by Daniel Black. Tucker really enjoyed this book, as did I. What am I gonna rate this? I'm between 3.5, 4 stars. I think I'm leaning towards 4 stars though, because honestly, it made me tear up towards the end. It was really sad. Really not the best choice for a 24-hour readathon where I'm reading fast and loose. It just really made me think about like the Black community and just family, I guess. I've been reading a lot about family lately, so that always hits home. There's like one line in here that has connected to like some other things I've been reading lately, where someone is talking about how children are treated, especially in the Black community. He says a disobedient child was the ruin of a people we thought, so we didn't allow it. Plus we needed someone beneath us, someone we could beat and low grade, the way white folks had done to us. That's like something I've been like reading about, thinking about for a while, just like how parents end up treating their children. And so yeah, I like this is the conclusion. And that'll be the end of sadness for this vlog. Is this the end of Tucker? We'll see. The next book that I'm going to read, I think, will be coloring book. Something that will be hopefully nice and lighthearted. You know, it's pink. Sorry, the lighting is kind of not great here. But we make do. So hopefully this will be a little happier. I will tell you what it's about now. I'll just read the back to you guys. Everyone in their village has magic in their bones, and Preet is the strongest of them all. Without any power of her own, how can Velissa ever be worthy of Preet's love? When their home is attacked, Velissa has a chance to prove herself, but that means leaving Preet behind. With no one to turn to, Preet gives into temptation, breaks the village's most sacred laws, and is rejected from the only home she's ever known. Divided by different paths, insecurities, and distance, can Velissa and Preet find their way back to each other? Sounds like a romance, you know, they get separated, they'll probably get back together. Sounds cute. And yeah, and this will be a really fast read since it is a graphic novel. And like I said, it's 11:30. What time will we go to bed? Still unknown. I finished Coming Back. I've been calling this coloring book this whole time. I don't know why. I guess I can't read. But it is called Coming Back, which makes a lot more sense now that I've read it. So I already told you basically the synopsis. The magic that people have in this book is shaping and shifting. So people can like shift their physical beings and also like kind of make matter, for lack of a better term, to help them out. Basically, the synopsis happens and it's really just about coming to terms with change or like accepting change and like, I wouldn't say exactly accepting yourself, but learning about yourself a little bit, I guess. And yeah, it was a cute story, nothing super amazing for me. I thought the art style was like fine. It wasn't like super to my taste. Like it's a cute art style and there are like some more detailed aspects which I'm looking for, but I just didn't love those detailed aspects for me and just like what I like to look at, I guess. But nothing was like wrong with it. It just wasn't to my taste. Like I think it was done well. Solid 3.5 stars. Nothing more to say. Now moving on, I think I'm gonna listen to the audiobook and like start getting ready for bed. Whether I will be going to bed, I don't know. But yeah, just get ready for bed. I'll check in again definitely before I go to sleep. Welcome to my bathroom, welcome to my skincare routine. As you saw, I just washed my face, brushed my teeth, etc. Now it's time to do the skincare and also tell you about like what I've been reading. Like I said, I was reading, I'm not wearing my glasses, which is why my phone is so close to my face. I was reading 4,000 Weeks, I was listening to 4,000 Weeks. I said I was getting ready for bed, and by that I meant I was gonna clean my whole bathroom while listening to this audiobook. Same thing, right? So yeah, that's how I have gotten that far. I'm now 39% through 4,000 Weeks. How do I feel about it? This book is probably gonna get 3 stars, maybe 3.5 stars. I just don't think it's very groundbreaking. I'm supposed to be doing my skincare routine. 1 second. There's not a whole lot going on at night. I just wash my face. I use zinc Readathon bar soap with emu oil. And then also I use this prescription retinoid. It is triphenterone, triferritine. There we go. Brand name Cleef. You need a doctor, so not really helpful for you to get this, but yeah. But back to the book. The message of this self-help book is basically that you need to like basically come to terms with the fact that you only have 4,000 weeks, or instead of only, like you were lucky to have 4,000 weeks. And basically the productivity part of this is like by coming to terms with the fact that you have a finite amount of time, like you can basically drop balls accordingly and like not fill your to-do list completely. This isn't really groundbreaking for me. I don't know how old this book is, so like maybe these thoughts came from this book because I watch a lot of productivity YouTubers because I'm sick. So like they might have all gotten that idea from this book. I don't know. So I will look into that. But just like for where I'm at, it's not really groundbreaking for me. And also the writing is like fine. Nothing, again, groundbreaking, but nothing like terrible either. It's like nicely conversational, like I'm enjoying like listening to it. There was like one weird section where he's like talking about some philosopher and he mentioned that he was actually like a Nazi. He says basically you're going to have to decide for yourself here whether his exceptionally poor life choices invalidates his thoughts about how we make life choices in general. I'm like, is that the only philosopher that could bring these ideas to the forefront? Like, I don't know. To put it lightly, feels like an odd choice. The idea of the book of just basically coming to terms with that we have finite time in life, so we'll never be able to get everything done. So you need to like prioritize accordingly is what I'm getting so far. I am only 40% through, so I don't know if he's gonna give any more like practical tips. Like there's no really practical tips right now. He's just kind of discussing that idea. The second step of my skincare routine, moisturizer. Right now I'm using daily moisturizing lotion from Walgreens. It's supposed to be like a dupe for the CeraVe daily moisturizing lotion for normal to dry skin, which is kind of not fully for me. I don't really have dry skin. I have more oily, normal to oily like combination, whatever, but it's fine for nighttime. I'm gonna go lay in bed after this. I'm pretty proud of myself for staying up till 1:30. I don't know what time I'm gonna get up. I'm not setting an alarm or anything because once again, I love myself. I think I'm gonna start the Field Guide to the North American Teenager in bed on my Kindle, and then whatever time I fall asleep is whatever time I fall asleep, whatever time I wake up is whatever time I wake up. The last step of my skincare routine, once again, this is something that was prescribed to me, but basically I have a hydroquinone topical solution, or cream, I guess, that I put on my dark spots every night. As I'm doing this, I'm realizing the skincare routine not really useful for the everyday person. In the morning, I do use like actual drugstore products, so maybe I'll do my morning skincare routine tomorrow so you can see that. But yeah, that's my update on the readathon. We are, is it halfway yet? No, 6 a.m. would be halfway. So we're whatever part we're at. It's 1:30. I'm tired. Good night. Good morning. I don't think it looks that much different from last night, but trust me, it's morning now. I have been awake since like 8:30-ish. I started reading-ish again around 9, and I'm here to tell you my skincare routine, update you all as usual, or not as usual, but as promised. So the first thing that I'm gonna do with my skincare, and then we'll go back and forth. I use salicylic acid from The Ordinary as not really quite a toner, but just, you know, over problem areas. So put that on my finger. I just kind of know wherever I get like bumps. So I lied last night. I did not start the Field Guide to the American Teenager. I just went to bed, just went straight to sleep. Since it is now 10:13, we are now 16 hours into this 24-hour readathon. I think we're doing well. This morning, I listened to more of 4,000 Winks. I'm now at 53%. So I did make progress. We're still, I don't know, I don't feel like any special type of way about it. It's still kind of just the same for me. The next step in my skincare routine will be The Ordinary's Vitamin C Suspension. This I put all over my face. This is for like dark spots. It's supposed to help, you know, brighten your face. My main concerns are dark spots. I am still acne prone, but it's gotten a lot better over the years, most likely due to hormonal birth control. I do still have dark spots and I don't have perfect skin by any means, but it is better than it used to be. While it's settling, I'll tell you about the next book that we're gonna read in our plans for this morning. It is now 10:15. Okay, so I have to go really fast because the place we're going stops serving breakfast at 10:30. So I will be bringing this book. What you are looking for is in the library. We're gonna go eat and read in the cafe. It will be nice. I'll take you along. That's the whole update. The last step of my skincare routine is this sunscreen, Biore UV Aqua Rich Watery Essence. This is a Japanese sunscreen, Asian sunscreen. Doesn't give me any white cast or anything. And that's the last step. Gonna put this on and then we're gonna head out. Bye-bye. So we returned from the coffee shop. We ended up having lunch slash brunch there because we literally showed up 1 minute after they stopped serving breakfast. We got a pastry and then we just waited till they started serving lunch, and we got that and it was really good. And yeah, and I'm 100 pages into What You Are Looking For is in the library, and I'm really enjoying it. This is probably going to be my favorite book of the readathon. I definitely am going to finish it. Right now it is 1 p.m.-ish. So 5 more hours to go, a little under 5 hours because I have somewhere to be at 6:30. I'm not great at planning. Since I got back, I've listened to more of 4,000 Weeks and was doing a little bit of cleaning, vacuuming while I was listening. And I do recognize the irony of listening to a productivity book about how we need to kind of relax more, I guess, while I am doing something that I deem to be productive, and also during a 24-hour readathon where I'm trying to do as much as possible. I do realize there is irony there. But yeah, the current chapter that I'm listening to is about how we don't take our leisure time as leisure time. Like, we still need to be productive during our leisure time. Like, if we don't spend it maximally, we view it as wasting time, which is definitely something I struggle with. So the book is starting to not get to me more, but I guess appeal to me more. And yeah, so I am liking this chapter. This is, once again, not something new, but it is always a good reminder, to actually relax during your leisure time. He talks about how technically in the history of society, this is the most leisure time that we've had as a society because, we don't have to do direct work for our direct survival. We don't have to till the land generally, in Western countries, basically, to eat. If you work a desk job, which is, I think, who this book is really directed at, you do your 8 hours a day and then you get to go home. And there is the part where the time it takes you to get to your job and do all the steps to do your job, does add to your time, but it's still more leisure time. And then we don't know how to spend it if it's not also preparing to work, if that makes sense. Corporations encourage vacation because it will make you a more productive worker and not just for the sake of leisure. So I'm really enjoying that. I'll tell you more about What You Need is in the library when I'm done with it because I am really enjoying that. So I finished What You're Looking For is in the library. This was so good. I don't know how to convey how good it was, how much I really enjoyed this book. This is a 5-star. I didn't expect that I was gonna have a 5-star read during this reading vlog. This is the first 5-star read I've had in over a year, I think. So that was really unexpected, and I'm really so excited that I can share it with you. So I didn't actually tell you all what it's about, but basically it's kind of a short story collection, but there is a thread. Each chapter basically follows a different person, and there's 5 chapters, so 5 people, and they're all just feeling lost in life and don't know what to do. Each person is feeling lost in their life, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, or they just feel really not happy, basically. So they all get directed to this librarian who gives them a book that leads them to figure out how to change their lives. But it's all in such a subtle and nice way. It's just the way this book reads is so sweet. The changes that these people make or the way their minds get reframed is just so sweet and so nice to read. And this is definitely a right book at the right time kind of book for me, because I've honestly been feeling this way. It's making me feel I can do something similar to the characters in this book. I do wish I had a somewhat magical librarian. She's not really magical. It's not that kind of book, but they all feel so connected to these books that they're given and see how they can like incorporate like lessons into their lives. And they're not like self-help books. Like one person gets recommended a children's book, like someone else gets recommended kind of like an encyclopedia-ish book. Just the way it's done, it's just feels so nice and like comforting, like all the stories, all the people, and just seeing their like simple lives but somehow extraordinary. It just really warmed my heart, and I really loved reading this. I absolutely recommend reading this. I'm so glad I read it today. I'm not sure what else to say. It's just, I literally picked up this book because there was a cat on the cover, which there isn't too much of the story. There's a bookshop with cats featured in this book, which again, the straight pathway to my heart, but it's not a huge component of the story, but it's there. And I liked it so much. So I love this book. So glad I read it. It is currently $4.49, so we have a little over an hour left. I am 68% through the audiobook for 4,000 Weeks, which is about another hour. If I listen at 2 times speed, I might listen a little faster, we'll see. So right now, I think I'm gonna focus on finishing 4,000 Weeks. And then if I still have time before I have to leave, because like I said, I have plans, then I will try to read Hover Girls. I don't think that should take that long. It's a graphic novel. So yeah, that will be something I try to do after 4,000 Weeks if I finish it. And that's the plan for the rest of this readathon. It is 6:04 p.m. The readathon ends at 6:30, but I'm ending it, I guess, a little early. I finished 4,000 Weeks. In total, I've read 4 books. I will come back with like my overall summary of 4,000 Weeks and just this whole readathon, because I have to go now. Once again, poor planner, but I feel like this was fun. Anyway, I don't have to summarize all this. I just wanted to share the time with you all and share that I finished that book. And yeah, what I finished, I feel really accomplished right now. I didn't sleep as much as I would normally, so I am tired. Yeah, I feel like accomplished, and I'll be back. Hi, I look different. Moving on. I have now edited the entire video and got to the end and realized I never did that summary I promised you all, so here I am. 4,000 Weeks summary. I think you have probably gathered all my thoughts by this point in the video. I liked it. What I said when I started it is true. I gave it 3.5 stars. It ended up being fine. Those chapters that I picked out, I liked. The rest of it, I didn't dislike by any means. It just didn't wow me. That's all I really have to say about it. If you're interested, check it out. If you like self-help, check it out. I don't feel like there were like any negative aspects to the book. It just didn't give me anything new, like I keep saying. So that's that on that. To summarize this entire video, I read for 24 hours. I finished 4 books. Pretend 4,000 Weeks is on here since it's an audiobook. In total, I finished 1,120 pages, which is a really great number to me. Will I do this again? Maybe. I definitely am going to do the other type of 24-hour readathon where you keep like a timer and just start it every time you start reading. Will I try and like stay up again? Maybe. Next time I would start it during the day. Like I would start it on a Saturday in the morning, so then I get that like full 12 hours of uninterrupted reading time first. And then this way I don't spend like the second full half of the readathon kind of sleep deprived. So there's that. Learn from my mistakes. Overall, I had so much fun doing this. I never would have expected I would read my favorite book of the year during this, or at least so far, but most likely the way I've been reading these past couple of years is my favorite book of the year. In the comments down below, let me know if you would ever do a 24-hour readathon, and also leave me a clock emoji down below. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!
Oh, hi. Welcome to Cat Food Corner, a part of the readathon where Lucy's gone out to dinner with one of her friends, and I am here feeding the cats and talking about my readathon goal with basically finishing Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. So usually mystery novels aren't really my jam. I haven't read a whole lot in the past, but I think I really enjoyed this one. It's definitely a whole lot. I mean, anyone who's ever read it before can tell you content warnings for a lot of violence, a lot of assault, sexual assault, all that bad stuff. It does get intense at times, but boy howdy is it a good book, well written. All the characters are really interesting. I thought the whole sort of dissection about how the different characters sort of process information and go about documenting things in terms of like journalism, hacking, whatever, and sort of the ethos and rules they set for themselves in that, and sort of how those sort of change throughout the book, as well as, I guess, just idea of what it means to be a journalist and report the truth. I thought was really interesting. Plot-wise, it's a whole lot. Like, it really does feel like Stieg Larsson had about 6 different books that he sort of smashed into one, and he does a lot of them really well. It's got mystery, it's got financial thrillers, the romance in it, again, also not usually a romance reader, but I thought it was sort of an interesting take on like ideas of, I guess, maybe non-traditional romances, and I guess in the monogamous sense, as boy howdy, the main character really does sleep with a lot of women in this book. But yeah, I thought it was pretty well done. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to read the other 2 books in the, I guess it's called the Millennium Trilogy, maybe further down the line. That's it for Cat Food Corner and the Readathon, I guess. I'm going to return to the small room that Lucy locks me in when I'm not making videos with her. So I'll see you next time on Let Out.